Hi, my part of the Regional Specialty Industry Report is the microenvironmental factors of the industry. To begin with the intensity and nature of competition, most prospective brewers do enter the craft brewing segment because there's less equipment necessary and lower startup costs. The Regional Specialty segment sees about $3 billion in revenue each year and an annual growth of 8.4%. Now there's lower profit margins, but they work on a smaller volume, so it is expected. It's defined as a monopolistic competition at this time, but it is moving towards a oligopolistic competition. The top two players in the industry make up 25.1% of the industry, those two companies being Boston Beer Company and Sierra Nevada Brewery. Boston Beer Company makes up 19.3%, so you can see they're a large portion of the market. Sierra Nevada makes up 5.8%. The top 8 players in the market make up 53% of the industry, so you can see that a small group makes up a large portion of the industry. However, there are a lot of companies that make up smaller portions. The industry is horizontally differentiated by taste, so brewers compete on taste rather than price, like with big beer. We are seeing a movement from big beer towards the better beer segment or the craft brew segment because of this. Customers and consumers are starting to see the benefits of going for taste rather than price. The next section is suppliers. The regional specialty breweries generally use local ingredients, so they generally go through local suppliers. Now, some do use the same suppliers as big beer. For example, Boston Beer Company would be one of those because they work on a larger scale, so there's more ingredients required. Now, most regional specialties use the same ingredients as big beer. However, as you've seen with many microbrews and craft brews, they do like to come out with seasonal brews with special ingredients. So in some cases, they need to go through special suppliers to get those ingredients. As far as distribution, it's a 3-tier process in the regional specialty group. It's producer to wholesaler to retailer, and they all have mutual dependence. They all rely on each other to make the money that they want. Now, law says that there's no direct sales from producer to consumer in this market, and that's also a reason why distribution is a huge part of it, because the producers need to get their beer out there. Now, obviously, Sierra Nevada sells their beer on site, but they have a restaurant, so they're able to do that. If you don't have a restaurant, then you're not able to do that. The two main distributors in this industry are Reyes Beverage Group and Silver Eagle Distributors. As far as the media goes, Boston Beer Company makes up the large portion of what you're going to see in the regional specialty as far as media. They don't enter magazines, any of the companies, and you will see TV ads, radio ads, etc. However, since it's a smaller industry with less money in it comparatively to big beer, you're not going to see as much. You will see companies like Sierra Nevada in movies and such, but it's not on the same scale as big beer. As far as labor unions go, the International Union of United Brewery was the original labor union that brewers entered into. However, they merged with Teamsters in 1973. Now, their main goal is, they have 4 main goals, and those are organizing their workers, educating their workers on workplace rights, involving the workers in the political system so that they have a say as well, and negotiating and enforcing contracts with employers so each worker will be treated fairly. As far as financial institutions go, they say the backing of this industry is hard to tell at this time because it's a consumer-based industry, and it's horizontally differentiated by taste. So it really depends on the product you're putting out whether or not you're going to be favorable to invest in. So it's really hard for them to say. They are seeing movement towards craft brews from big beer, so they are saying at this time it looks favorable. However, it all depends on your product. As far as customers go, they have ultimate power in this industry because it's horizontally differentiated. It really matters what you're putting out because your customers determine who is going to sell. The customers are highly diverse in this industry, ranging in age, education, race, sex, etc. 21 to 24-year-olds make up only 8% of our population. However, they consume 14% of the beer industry, so you can see that our age group likes beer quite a bit. Beer drinkers tend to be young, ethnically diverse, and blue collar. That's a quote from Anheuser-Busch. Now, they're not a regional specialty brewery, but that really does explain beer consumers. Now, due to recent health kicks in our country, we're seeing less beer being drinking. Unfortunately, that is affecting the market. However, experts do see that evening itself out, and the power coming back to the market. They're seeing it's kind of like a wave. It's going to go back and forth for as long as we can see. So that's my segment. I appreciate you guys letting me do this via YouTube, and I hope you guys have a nice class. Thanks.